All right, this thing on. INFP versus ISFP, right? We get these questions a lot on the internet or on the YouTubes. All right, so how do you tell the difference? It does get tricky, and rightfully so. Carl Jung even kind of seemed to talk about people kind of just with their first functions, almost as if he was kind of favoring kind of like 8 types. So as far as I know, he would kind of really clump the INFP and ISFP together because like what? They both have lead FI, they're the same. And that's definitely true to a large percentage of the time. If you have FI first and TE last, 80% of your problems in life are going to be exactly the same as the other guy that's got the same situation. And that is a over-focusing on what you value, what you like, and an under-focusing on taking into account the tribe's reasons. So the IPs will end up leaving a lot of voids for the tribe because they're focusing so much on what they like, forgetting to put in that time, not put in the care. Everybody knows you care. Put in the time to make it work with the tribe. Oh, yeah, you got me there. All right, so technically we got the similarities. They both have the human needs of self above tribe. Great. They both are single deciders, and that is that imbalance that I was just talking about, that big swing between FI versus TE. And now they're both also double observers, which means they're relatively balanced between control and chaos, or gather and organize. Their S and their N is relatively balanced, and that's the key word, meaning relative to their first and last function, but then also they're relatively balanced compared to an IJ or an EP, which now have their observers on the poles, and they're all crazy. Again, generally speaking, and that's how you can really kind of narrow people down, that relative contrast between the coins. All right, so differences. The only difference you really have to work with is those observers. So here's the good news when I'm working with students and stuff. When they're getting stuck with, I can't really tell if this person is an INFP or an ISFP, that's really good. That's where you want to be stuck. You're a damn noob if you're stuck on INFP versus INFJ, right? Because you have like the temperament difference, the human need difference, the function difference. So it should be hard to tell the INFP from the ISFP. And here's one big reason. Ready? You got to be aware of those jumpers. We found that 50% of the INFPs out there favor their SI, and 50% of the ISFPs out there favor their NI. So you can get a very introverted, controlling ISFP because they're FI-NI, and a very introverted, controlling INFP because they're FI-SI. And again, the internet has had theories on this for a long time. They talk about, what do they call it, looping, or you're between your two introverted functions or whatever, as well as like types within types. So the point is, you can't be like, oh, I see sensory, so it must be the ISFP. Like, no, you might be seeing the sensory coming from the INFP because they're FI-SI. Now, let's just take that one for an example. You'll have an INFP that has NE high as their second function, but technically it's their daemon, so they jump over the NE. Doesn't mean that they don't use it, doesn't mean that they don't use it really good. It's just that they don't respect it compared to their SI. Why? Because their life is about controlling and organizing. So jumping back to number 1 is you got to start by expecting everyone can do everything. So when you're trying to figure somebody out, you got to know that everybody can do everything. All the Google pages, all the anecdotes, you really got to let that go, even though it's kind of like conceptually true, stereotypically true, kind of true, sometimes true. You're going to have a person in front of you that's going to break all those stereotypes. And you got to be ready for that. And that's the hard part. That is honestly the hardest part. So the person will get freaked out in life. Their reoccurring life problems will always be, and only be, and this is how we're able to track people, from these swings in self versus tribe. That's going to be the defining person's problem in their life, period. 100% of the time, can't miss it. It's always there. It's never not there. Now, with the jumpers, with the INFP and ISFP, those are harder to see because they have really good NE or SE, but then they're doing their organizing with their third function. So the ISFP and the INFP will be really good at gathering in new information. So you'll see that, you'll think it's a savior, but then you're really realizing at the end of the day, their point of view is, yeah, look, I know I'm good at gathering in all this new shit, but it's kind of annoying to me because I want to organize it. I want to prioritize it. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't even realize that's what you want to do. They're like, yes, that's what I want to do. People will scream at you what's important to them when you're not projecting who they should be, right? So number 3, once you've established this person is either gather or organize in their life, you then now go to work that observer. You got to go work the letter. So, okay, they're gathering. Are they gathering in the concepts, patterns, connections, understandings, the NE, or are they gathering SE? They're gathering the facts. And then you got to take that in contrast with the other coin. So let's just take the stock Myers-Briggs INFP, for example. They'll be gathering in concepts, patterns, connections through their NE, and then they're organizing it through their daemon SI. So you got to look, what exactly are you gathering? If I think you're gathering N, and I think that's the savior, then I need to make sure that I'm also seeing on the other side of that coin, are you actually organizing sensory, and is it a daemon? All right, it's a lot of information coming fast. Don't worry, we're going to go over this again and again. The INFP versus the ISFP. The only way you can really tell the difference is going after those observers in the middle. So you got to work your checklist one point at a time.